Greetings everyone and welcome to another video. Now, I don't really do long videos often, but some things happen and things change. What I mean by that is I've seen a lot of zombies tier lists lately, and I feel like every time one gets made, it's just worse than the last one I've seen. I mean, we saw Syndicate's tier list, and it was questionable. Then we saw Noah's tier list, and we thought it was just the worst thing ever. And, I literally thought nothing could be worse than Noah J's tier list. But then, a few days ago, a man named Chaosxsilencer, or Jimmy, uploaded a tier list, or maybe not a tier list, but more of a ranking every video, or ranking every map kind of video, and I just did not know what I was looking at. It was a tragedy to say the least. He said he was a casual fan, but the choices he made and the lack of explaining he did for his choices just made no sense. So hopefully I'll be able to deliver what he couldn't. I'm a pretty casual zombies player, but I'm not hyper casual. I'm experienced, but I'm not I don't really go out and do Easter eggs or anything. So I'm going to give you what I think is a good casual list. And before I start the video, I'm starting the video, but before I start ranking the maps, I'm going to give you the criteria. My criteria is how well the map plays, so gameplay, how replayable it is, how the map layout is, and how much the map brought to zombies. So it's going to be a bit of a mixture of all those, plus just my subjective preference. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. First map is Nocturne Toten, the original. This was my first zombies map, so, I mean, there is some nostalgia here. But I won't lie, the map doesn't have that much to offer. Literally just have a mystery box, and that's it. You have 3 rooms, 3 doors. Not a whole lot to the map, but I will say it has excellent sound design. The gameplay is really addicting despite not having a lot of content. It's the first map, so you gotta be fair with it. You know, they didn't have anything that came before this. So you gotta really consider what this map brought to zombies, and without this map there wouldn't be zombies. So I think it's a solid B tier. B tier is it's like good maps. It's like they're above average, not quite great, but they're just good. A tier is great maps. S tier is the best. C tier for me is average, and F is just maps I don't even want to load up. It's also kind of another criteria. I know I have a lot of criteria, but I am kind of judging this on what's the likeliness of me loading up on the map? How likely am I to play it? C tier is maps if you convinced me I would play. And then F tier is maps I just don't even want to think about playing. So on to the next map is Verrucht. And I'm not too sure how I would relate this to Noct, because it is a different map. It has a slightly different tone and atmosphere. It's definitely more on the horror side. Noct is a bit more suspenseful, and Verrucht is a bit more horror. So I don't know. I gotta say, I like the map layout of Verrucht. I kind of like the 2 routes to power. Overall, it does do some things better than Noct. There's a lot more to work with on this map. There's perks, there's traps, the mystery box can move. So it's very innovative, and I think it's probably the most innovative of the World of War maps. But I don't think it's quite as good as Noct because of the super sprinters. Now, if the super sprinters came way later, like past round 20 or something, I would be fine with this, but the fact that they come at round 6, I don't know. I don't know. I think it kind of hurts the map. I feel like they were there by accident since this is really the only map to have them, at least until Black Ops 4. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's also a good map. I'm going to put it behind Noct. It's about the same quality as Noct, but I don't prefer it as much to Noct. I will say, like, I am going to be ranking the like the remasters and stuff for BO1 and BO3 too, and I'll explain like the other versions too. But for right now, I think original Verrückt, sorry, I don't even know what I said earlier, but yeah, original Verrückt, I'd say it's a B tier. And then we have Shinonuma. Yeah, overall, I think this is probably the least innovative of the World at War maps. It just doesn't have anything like game changing to zombies, other than maybe the Hellhounds. Like, I think the Hellhounds kind of started like, this whole like, boss round in every 4 to 5 rounds, and I think in that respect, I like Shionuma for that. I feel like that's the one innovation Shionuma made that was actually that actually changed zombies, but like other than that, it just didn't really do that much for World of War. The map's kind of boring too. Like, it's not very pleasant to look at. It's just kind of green and brown throughout the whole map, and it's kind of foggy too, and I don't know. Not the most aesthetically pleasing map. But this was the introduction of the Ultimus crew, which is pretty cool. Very iconic. The Wunderwaffe also debuted on this map. And I think what I don't really like about it is just how easy the map is. And I generally like easy maps, but this map just felt a little too exploitable. Because people could get to like the thousands, and Krups got to around 10,000. I think it was like 10,751 because you're just going for the reset. But if you can get to around 10,000 on a map, I mean, it's a little broken. I still think it's about the same tier as like the other maps, but I think it's my least favorite of the World of Wars. I like the RNG aspect of the perks because like it kind of encourages replay value to get like the good perk spawns. But I think B's being fair. Like, I think it's a little too generous for the map, but I'll put it in B because I know a lot of people like it. And then we have Derice. Definitely one of the harder World of War maps. At least harder to get to high rounds, because like I think the world record is like 140 or something, and the rest of these maps have like over around 1,000 for the world record. So it's a bit hard to hit those high rounds. But I think Derice made a lot of good, like it had a lot of good ideas for like Pack-a-Punch and Monkey Bombs and the Bowie Knife, and just how interactive the map is with like the radios and the Flytrap Easter egg. It's a very good map. I think it's slightly overrated due to all the glitches, like the Wunderwaffe stopping your health regeneration. I think that's a little like game breaking, and I don't really like the map for that. But otherwise, like I like World at War Derice. It actually has a really nice atmosphere despite looking kind of dreary. So I don't know. I'll put it at an A tier. I don't think it's quite S because it's not as refined as some of the other maps. But I think it's a very good map, and it's definitely the best of the World War maps. Now, up next we have Kino der Toten. This is the original Kino der Toten launch map of Black Ops 1. This was a very odd map for me because, like, originally when I first played this map, I didn't really like it that much. But I think it's because I played on solo. Like, on solo, I didn't really enjoy the map that much. But on co-op, I actually enjoyed it a lot more. I think it's a little overrated in terms of like the features on the map. Like, I think the Nova crawlers are kind of just thrown in just to make the map a bit harder. Like, I think they were originally meant to be on 5, and they just kind of like put it into Kino because it was too easy or something. I don't know. But it did have some cool innovations, like the fire trap. It was very helpful trap for getting the high rounds. Fire sale was also introduced in this map. Definitely needed because there's like 9 box locations on this. This is also the first map to not have a fixed mystery box. Like, it could spawn in, I think, anywhere except the spawn room. And I think that encourages replay value. Kind of like with Shion Numa with the perks. It's like, it can increase your chances of getting weapons and like wonder weapons early on. Yeah, the Thunder Gun also debuted in this map, which is pretty cool. Even though it's more of Ascension's weapon, because I think it just fit the map better. I feel like it was designed for Ascension. But it was cool to see it in Kino too. So I think it's a good map, probably better than Knockverk and Shino. I know I'm putting a lot of maps into the B tier, but I think it's probably the best of the B tier so far. I don't think it's quite as good as the Reese because it did follow the same kind of formula. So I think B tier is pretty fair. Like, still good, but not amazing. And the best map of all zombies is Kino der Toten. Yeah, I don't know about that, Jimmy. Yeah. It is iconic, it is nostalgic, but I just don't think it's as good as some of the other maps. And next we have 5. This is a map I used to hate. Like, if you were asking me to rank this like a few years ago, I probably would put this in like F. But I think it's grown on me a bit. I think it's because of Classified that came out in BO4. It didn't have a lot of features that 5 had, and going back to 5, I was thinking, I kind of missed some of this stuff, like the Pentagon Thief and stuff like that. So yeah, this map's definitely out there. You get to play as like JFK, Robert McNamara, Fidel Castro, and Richard Nixon, which is definitely an odd premise, but I think over time I've gotten to appreciate this map a little more. I don't think it's quite up there for me because, again, like, the map layout is not very good, and it's mostly because it was 2 campaign missions kind of slapped together. And I think Forsaken also did this as well. And I don't know. I think the layout is pretty weak on this map, and the Wonder Weapon especially. But I do like the characters, and it definitely felt like a new map compared to Kino. Like, Kino kind of has been done before. 5, I think, is a bit more fresh of a map, but this map is pretty ruthless at times. It is a very hard map. It's probably the hardest zombies map. Maybe not so much for high rounds because, like, you can use the electro traps, and I think people have gotten to the hundreds on this map, but yeah, like, just for any average player, this is one of the, like, hardest maps of all time. So I don't know. I think it's again probably a B tier. I don't think it's as, I think I like the World at War maps more than it, but it's still worth playing. And then next we have Ascension. This one I am pretty biased to this map. I actually think it's an S tier. Like between Derice and this map, like the zombie maps has kind of repeated the same Derice formula. Like Kino had this, Five had this, Ascension had this, but I think Ascension did it the best. It was really the first open zombies map we've had. Shionuma, I guess, was technically the first open map, but I don't really consider that because there's a lot of water throughout the map. There's a lot of sections of the map that were just cut off by water. On World at War, you didn't really have fast movement speeds, so like those sections of the map were pretty much unplayable. Ascension was really the first zombies map to just open everything up. And I think that's really refreshing about the map. Plus, it was very innovative as well. It introduced 2 new perks. Like, what zombie map, other than Ascension, has released 2 new perks? Really none. Like, I feel like that's really worth knowing something. It also introduced the Gersvices, the Matryoshka dolls, and the Space Monkeys. I mean, what can I say? I mean, it's a really good map. It is a bit easy, I won't lie, but you don't have to make it easy. Like, you have a choice to make it harder. So, and that's what I love about, like, classic zombies, is that you have a choice to make something difficult if you want to. Like, if you want to use, like, if you want to do a 2-box challenge, or box roulette, or, like, no perks, or, like, certain perks only. Like, you can do that on these maps. That's why I love Ascension. It's just, like, it's just a very open, a very free map, and it's not linear. You can just do whatever. So yeah, that's why I have Ascension at S tier. And then next we have Call of the Dead. And I'm not entirely familiar with this map. I haven't played it that much, but I have to say, like, going back to it, it's actually not as bad as I remember. I used to be a little annoyed at this map, but I think things have grown on me, and I think the reason why is because, like, I've gotten better at zombies. And I think a lot of these harder maps are actually growing on me a lot, and I actually like Call of the Dead now. I think the one thing I don't like about it is just how it looks. The fog is not very pleasing to look at. Plus, overall, the map's just kind of gray and white. And, you know, it can feel kind of boring at times, but... And the wonder weapons aren't exactly great either. The scavenger is cool, but I wish they made infinite damage. I don't know why they didn't. Because it's not like the thunder gun that just blasts them all the way. You have to time your attacks and stuff, so... I don't know. Like George is actually something I kind of like. Now, the only gripe I have about George is that you can't really make him go away. I wish there was I wish the Easter egg you can make him go away. That would be kind of cool. Like, it would encourage people to, like, try Easter eggs. Yeah, I think it might be the best Black Ops 1 map. I'm not too sure. I think it's A tier behind Derice. And then next we have Shangri-La. And this map has kind of also been growing on me as well. Do I like it as much as Call of the Dead? I'm not sure, because it's definitely a different map. But kind of similar to 5, this is a very ruthless map. Like it is a bit easier to get to high rounds than 5, but you have a lot of stuff working against you. You have the flame zombie, napalm zombie. Sorry, I was trying to think of it. Yeah, the napalm zombie and the shrieker zombie, and the monkeys that can steal your power ups. But I think the thing I like the most about Shangri-La is just how it rewards smart playing. Or smart play styles. Because, like, because you can switch the drops around to get max ammos or double points or even perks for that matter. You can even like detonate the napalm zombie to act as a fire trap, so you can camp a little easier. It's actually not that bad of a map now that we kind of know everything about it, and now that we've gotten better. Like, this map has really aged incredibly. So I'm gonna put it in A tier. I think behind Call of the Dead. I think I like it, but not as much as Call of the Dead. Now Moon, Black Ops 1 Moon, I just don't really like it. Like, it's a cool map, don't get me wrong. Like playing zombies on the moon and Area 51 stuff, that's cool, but again, like, map layout, this is probably the worst map layout in Black Ops 1 because there is no map travel. Like, Shangri-La is a pretty small map, but it has excellent map travel. Moon just doesn't. Like, there's no shortcuts. There's no way to get from A to B faster except just running down, like, a tunnel. This map is just long. Like, you have to run all over the place, and the fact that you have excavators after you and trying to cut off portions of the map, it's just... I don't know. Like, I just think the map layout is kind of weak on this, and it just looks bad too. Just on Black Ops 1, this map just looks like diarrhea, honestly. Like, it's just gray and brown. Like, every section of the map is gray and brown. Like, Kino was kind of like this too, but at least you could go outside on Kino. Like, the only, like, aesthetically pleasing part of the Moon is, honestly, Area 51 after you shoot the rockets at the Earth. But you have to do an Easter egg to get part of the map to look good. So, man, I don't know. I just found myself bored on this map, and I never really thought it was that special. I just think it's kind of overrated, you know? But I'll put it in C tier. Like, sometimes I do go back, and sometimes I do have some fun. The wave gun's really cool on it. The Gershes come back. Gershes are one of the best equipments. I mean, Area 51 as a concept is pretty cool. Because you can get Pack-a-Punch right away, or you can wait a while to get it. I just don't really like a lot of the RNG aspects of Moon, like getting Jug and Speed Cola on alternating times. Like, I don't know. Moons just could get frustrating. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm seeing it. So next we have the Black Ops 1 remasters of the World at War maps. Dr. Total on Black Ops 1 it's fine. Like, I don't think it's as good as the World at War version. Like, I think the sound design is a bit weaker than on World at War, and also you don't have like the flamethrower or anything. You do have the thunder gun, which is nice. At least they put like a legitimate wonder weapon in this one, but they also had Mule Kick as well when Moon drops. So, excuse me. So yeah, Noct on BO1 it's good. I don't think it's as good as the World of War maps, so I'm gonna put it in B tier, probably behind the World of War maps. And then Verrucht on Black Ops 1. I will say I do like the Black Ops 1 version over the World of War version, mostly because there's no super sprinters. They also added the wonder weapon in here too, the Winter's Howl. I mean, it is bad, but at least it's something, you know. Sometimes it's helpful. So I don't know. I think I like it. I think I'll put it slightly above Verrucht. And then Shi No Numa Black Ops 1. I think this is the weakest version of Shi No Numa. I don't know what it is, but I think the fact that this map is a bit harder now, and you don't really have that 24 zombie cap, You know, it does make this map a little more frustrating to play. Just I don't know. I just don't think anything really got improved with the Black Ops 1 version, but it's still pretty good. I think I'll put it. I'll put a beats here also. I think I'd rather play 5 than Shionuma. Because you know 5 just has a bit more uniqueness. And then Derice Black Ops 1. This is gonna be a controversial one, but I think I prefer this one over the original. And the reason why is because they patched the Wonder Waff to where it doesn't remove your health regeneration. Yeah. I wish the PPSH was in this map. I wish they kept that, but that's really my only negative, because like I think they managed to make Derice on Black Ops 1 like a little better than the World at War one. Like the World at War Derice might be more iconic, but I think Derice on Black Ops 1 actually is like Derice to perfection. So yeah. Next up, Black Ops 2's Transit. Oh boy. Yeah, Transit, I mean, we all know how flawed this map is. It wasn't really finished because of time constraints and hardware constraints. So they kind of just had to cut corners and make a map, just make what they had available to us in kind of a rough state. So yeah, Transit, as far as like map layout goes, it's not very good. It's kind of bland to look at too. It's just kind of brown and stuff. But I will say, I mean, the ideas were there. Like the Jet-Gun is cool, but it should have been better. Like it shouldn't have broke. It shouldn't have been so tedious to craft. Yeah, I will say the bank was a cool feature, and I liked the perma perks and like all the innovations Black Ops 2 gave to us. So I don't know. I think it's C tier, but like it's like a C minus. Like on a good day, I might play Transit. Like on a good day, maybe I'll enjoy it. So it's like a C minus. All right, and then we have the 3 little survival maps to go with it. So, Bus Depot, it's literally just Nocturne Totem all over again, but it doesn't have any of the magic Noctad. It's just kind of boring. Like there's just nothing on the map other than like maybe like 3 or 4 wall weapons and the box. Like there's no wonder weapon. I think you can get the ray gun Mark II, but yeah, other than that, there's not really a wonder weapon. There's flame zombies on this too, which can be a nightmare to deal with without jugs. So I think this is deserving of the first F tier. And farm, basically everything I just said about Buzz Depot can apply to farm, except farm actually has perks so you can survive a bit longer. The fire zombies aren't as difficult to deal with, so I think it puts it slightly above Bus Depot. But yeah, I never really go out of my way to play farm, so yeah, it's also going into F tier. And then town is easily the best of the survival maps. It has Pack-a-Punch, it has Stamina Up, it has Tombstone, it has a few more things going for it. So I'm leaning around the B tier. I'm not really sure where. I think it's like town is one of those maps where like if you just want to go into Black Ops 2 just to play around with it, like this is definitely the map you want to do it on. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think ahead of these and behind these. And then next we got Nuketown, and I'm kind of split towards this map. Like, I enjoy playing it. I like the RNG stuff with it, but I won't lie, it's not that special of a map. It's, it's literally just the multiplayer map, like, put in the zombies. Um, they had a couple new guns and, randomized the perks and stuff. But I think I like the chaotic nature of Nuketown, so I'm gonna put it like, I don't know, maybe like here. I think town's slightly better than it. Like Nuketown, at least you don't have to worry about the lava or anything, but there's no windows, and it does get pretty boring after about round 25. So I don't know. I don't think it's as good as town. Like town, I could probably play till like around 30 or 35. Nuketown, I got cap at about 25 or 30, so it's slightly below it. Then next is Die Rise, and Die Rise it's a map I'm just have not gone back to in a while. Like I remember playing this map on PlayStation, then I switched to Xbox shortly after playing this map, and I don't know. I just haven't really gone back to play it because I don't know. I just haven't really played PlayStation in a while, so I don't know. Like I know everything about the map. I just haven't really played in a while, so I don't know what my true opinion of this map is. But I remember liking the concept. The concept was actually pretty cool. Like find zombies and destroy skyscraper. That was like back in like World at War. I actually wanted this idea for a map. Like if they ever came out in the newer CODs, like I would want them to do this map. And it actually they actually made a map around this idea. But yeah, Die Rise is again kind of like transit. Like you have no control over the transportation. You literally just have to wait for it. It's like you have no control over the elevators, and there's an elevator key in the map, but you can only use it once. Not sure why that was a thing. Yeah, I mean, plus the layout of the map is kind of like the trample scene can't really save this map because there's a lot of jumps where the trample scene isn't really effective. But as far as positives go, I mean, I like the look of the map, like especially on the rooftops. Like it's gorgeous up there. Like it's gorgeous in like the top half of the map, but like where the power room is, it's kind of dreary looking. So I don't know. It's like most of the atmosphere is pretty good, but yeah, down there it's not the greatest. I like the Solidifier too. Definitely one of the better wonder weapons we have. I don't know if I really like the fact that you can fall off the map from it though. And then Who's Who is also introduced in this map, and it's literally just a worse version of Tombstone. So I don't know. I'm leaning C tier. I don't really know where. I think maybe like I think it's like a C plus because I really like the concept of Die Rise, but I think the execution is what keeps it down here for me. And then Mob of the Dead came next, and I feel like this is the map that saved Black Ops 2 for a lot of people. It was a very innovative map. It was a very unique map at the time because it was like it had a celebrity cast and it had the afterlife mechanic, which replaced quick revive. And I was actually okay with this change because it allowed us to get more perks. The only thing I wish they did differently about this map is I wish they gave us a few more perks to choose from because like they had Jug, Double Tap, Speed Cola, Electric Cherry, and Deadshot. Nobody ever really went for Deadshot, so most everybody just got the same 4 perks. I wish they put like Mule Kick and even PSG Flopper in this map. But no, they teased us those 2 perks. So But I will say it has one of the best atmospheres of any map. And it's relatively it's simple to learn once you play through the map a few times. And these are kind of maps I like. Like maps, like they don't have to be completely casual friendly, but they could be simple and complex at the same time. So I'm gonna put it in S tier. So far, it's the best map. And then Buried is also S tier. It is such a fun map. Man, I cannot believe. Okay, I don't know why his ad is here. Like, I cannot believe like when Chaos ranked Buried at like 38, because this is like the most casual map. Like, this map was literally designed for casuals. I won't lie, this map is also very exploitable. It can be easy if you use the bank. But again, you don't have to make it easy. Like if you want to have a challenge, you can have a challenge on this map. I will say co-op is kind of broken because usually everybody just hits the bank at once and just opens up the whole map and pack-a-punches. On co-op, I can understand like where this map would fall flat, but I think on solo, it's one of the best maps. It's easy S tier for me. One of the greats. You could tell I like Black Ops 2 a lot because I'm ranking these maps pretty high. And Origins, same thing. It's also a great map. It's also an S tier. I will say this map did turn off a lot of casuals because of how many parts you had to get, and with the mud and the Panzer and like all the more threatening stuff that came with this map. This map is a bit challenging to learn, but once you do everything by like the third time, I think you would have it for the most part. Like I don't think you would have to look up a tutorial or anything. So I think that's why I like Origins. I mean, this is also the first map with like 4 unique wonder weapons. And it would start a trend for some of the maps to come down the road. Yeah, it's very innovative. It may be the most innovative map. I mean, there were several new box weapons that came with this map. The Wonder Fizz debuted in this map, which was honestly kind of an underrated feature of zombies. I wish it would come back in more maps. Like, I know we had the Wonder Fizz in Cold War, but it's not near as iconic or as fun as the Origins Wonder Fizz. But yeah, it's a very good map, and it set up one of the better zombies games we've had. Which brings us to Shadows of Evil. I'm not too sure how I feel about this map, because when this map came out, I didn't really hate it. Like, even though I was pretty casual at the time, I never really thought this map was that bad. I just think it was kind of repetitive having to do all the rituals and stuff like that, and getting the swords upgraded and everything like that. Like, I think that was my problem with the map. Is just it felt kind of repetitive with the setup process. It felt like you were doing an Easter egg, but I think over time, like taking a break from this map was actually something I needed to do, because I think it helped me appreciate the map a bit more coming back to it. This has actually grown on me substantially. I don't know if it's quite an S tier for me, but I think I'm gonna put A right here. I think I would play Derice over this, but this is one I would definitely play with like friends, or if I just want to chill out, get to high rounds. Like, I think A tier is pretty good for it. And then we have the Giant. And I did play a lot of this when Black Ops 3 came out. I just wish it wasn't tied to the season pass, because that's another thing with Nuketown that kind of threw off zombies for me, or not threw off zombies, but just kind of messed up like how DLC and maps were required, because like it was also season pass exclusive, and so was the Giant. And if the game wanted to appeal to casuals more, I don't know why this was in the season pass. I would have been okay if Dead Ops was in the season pass instead of the Giant, because I think the Giant should have been like in the actual game rather than a season pass exclusive. I think it's probably the weaker of the three Derises. I still think it's good. But I don't know. It just kind of lacks personality to me. And I think they could have done way more with this map. If they gave this map a full-on Easter egg, if they gave it, like, tons more stuff to work with, I think it could have been better than both Derises. But as it stands, I think it's probably the weaker of the Derises. So I'm going to put it right here. Kind of lumping all these together. But that's okay. Alright, next up we have Derisendrack. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have a gripe with this map, a little. I think it's overrated. I don't know. Okay, the reason why is because, like, when this map came out, I actually liked the map. Like, I thought it was possibly the best zombies map. But then Zetsubou came out, and everybody didn't really like it, including me, so I just went back to DE. And then, like, you know, Go Rod didn't come out for another 3 months, so, like, we were stuck playing DE for a while. And I think when you overplay a map, you start to notice its flaws. And the flaws with this map is it's not very innovative. Like, it's basically just an easier version of Origins and Moon. If you think about it. I mean, we didn't have any new perks, but that was mostly just a BO3 problem. We didn't even have a new box weapon, which I don't know why they did this, because I remember there was a lot of black market weapons in BO3, like melee weapons and stuff. It would have been so cool to pull those from the box and, you know, do those and use those. It's like, I don't know about this map. Like, I just didn't see it as unique. Like, the bows are fun to use, but I think they are inferior to the stabs because they lack a good melee feature. Because the melee feature on the stabs, I think it one hit up until like round 16. I think the melee feature on the bows are like equivalent to just the standard knife. Like, the melee feature is not very good. It doesn't have like the ability to revive teammates like the stabs. Like, I don't know. Like, the stabs or the bows are like the only thing like kind of new about this, but it's based on the formula we've already seen. And, you know, the Wonder Spheres are kind of just like a different version of like the Dries teleporters. The Ragnaroks were basically imported from multiplayer. And the Panzer, you know, was Origins. The low gravity, you know, Moon. Like, even the Easter egg was really just a mirror of Moon's. So I think this map really loses points for innovation. But I will say it does everything else right. Like, I think gameplay is pretty solid. It's good. And then atmospherically it's a really sound map. So I think for me it's B tier. It's the top of B tier, but I think this map is a little overpraised. And maybe because we just played it too much. Maybe that's why. Alright, and then next is Zetsubou no Shima. Not really a fan, but I will say I think it's a little better than what I give it credit for. But my problems with Zetsubou is really just mechanics. I feel like it is extremely hard to get points on this map, because when you're turning on power, you don't get points for the zombies. When you're doing the skull, you don't get points for that. It's like you have to run the shopping free every time if you're taking this map seriously, because like points are hard to come by on this map. But I am pretty glad they added some new box weapons in this map. Some of them were pretty cool, like the Razorback, the Marshall pistols. I think the HG40 also came in this map. Like guns I wish came into DE were in this map, so I can't really put this in an F tier. I mean, I don't come back to this map that often, but I'll put it in C. I think there's a chance I'll play it, so I'll put it in C. And I think the reason why D kind of fell flat for me later on is because, you know, this map is called the Iron Dragon in English, and the only thing that's really dragon related is just filling up the 3 heads to get the Wrath of the Ancients. So when Go Ride came out and they actually had like dragons you could ride and that breathe fire on you and stuff, this is what I was really looking for with DE. And Go Ride actually like gave to us. Like, I like that this map was more gameplay focused. Like, there's a lot to do on this map. Like, I never really felt bored on this map. Introduced some cool stuff, like time trials. It was a very cool idea, especially for like speedrunners. The grot modules were kind of a nice little twist on Pack-a-Punch. It's kind of similar to like Ascension or Derice, where you have to go to like each sides of the map and do something in each area to unlock Pack-a-Punch. Yeah, and this map also brought in some new box weapons like the FFAR, the NX Shadow Claw, the L4 Siege. And even the PPSH may return. It just shows you how much the developers really cared about making quality maps. So this map is easy S tier for me. I'm not sure where I would put it. I think I'm gonna put it here. I think I would play it over Origins, but maybe not as much as Mob. So yeah. And then Revelations is it's a good map, but I don't know where I would put it, because this map is kind of seen a little unfavorably, but I actually kind of like it. I think the layout is pretty good, despite, you know, just being a bunch of zombies maps like mushed together. Like, it's easy to navigate. That's kind of the one thing I look for when determining how good the map layout is. So I don't know. I kind of like it. I mean, the thing is with this map is it's very easy. You have 2 like infinite damage wonder weapons you can get. You can have them both. You know, you have little Arnie's. You have like, you know, Black Ops 3 stuff like Gobblegums and Double Pack-a-Punch to help you out. Like, I got to round 72 just staying in the spawn room. Like, it was that easy. Like, I didn't even have to train or do nothing. I was literally just camping in the spawn room when I was fully set up. I got some like high rounds, so yeah, it is a bit ridiculous. And the thing is with Revelations is like a lot of people clown on it for being kind of like a clip show map or whatever. But the thing is, like, every YouTuber at the time was actually kind of wanting something like this. Like, I remember seeing a lot of videos back in the day, and people were like, "Oh yeah, what if the last map is just every map combined or something?" It's like, yeah. So I think it's definitely grown on me a lot. I think I'm gonna put it at the bottom of A tier. And then this brings us to Zombies Chronicles. So Noct and BO3. The BO3 knocked, I'm not too sure about. I like it. I like the fact that you can get perks and pack punch on this map, but I don't know. I don't think I like it as much as the original, but I think I like it more than the BO1. So I'm trying to think of where to put it. I mean, I'm not going to explain too much about the Chronicles maps because like they are pretty much like these maps, but just with the Black Ops 3 like mechanics and stuff. I think I'm going to put it. I think I'm going to put it right here, or maybe like here. Yeah, I would say right here. I don't want to mix. I don't really want to mix up like Verruct or anything. And then Verruct on BO3. I'll put. I think I like it. I think I like it more than BO3 Nox, but not quite as much as like original Nox. So I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it right there. And then BO3 Shionuma, it's good, but I don't think. I don't know. I still on BO1 compared to BO1. I don't think it's. I don't think it's near as good as original Shionuma. And then Kino on Black Ops 3, I think it fixed a lot of my issues with the Black Ops 1 version, like for it being like, kind of boring after round 30. Like, Kino definitely helped with more strategies and stuff, like implementing more high round strategies, which was good. Like, going to the alleyway to get to high rounds and going in that one upstairs room where the lecture trap is. Like, people actually go left on this map, surprisingly, rather than on BO1. Nobody went left on BO1 Kino. So, yeah, plus they added, like, tons of weapons in this map, like all the classic BO1 weapons, like the M16, the Galil, the AK-74U. I mean, I think it's a really good remaster, and I think it fixed a lot of the atmosphere problems of the first one. So I'm gonna put it right here in A. And then Ascension BO1. Honestly, I think it's just as good as original Ascension. It is a bit easier, but I think it fixed a lot of the problems with like the monkeys and stuff because they were a little frustrating to deal with on the original Ascension, but I feel like they were a bit more easier to deal with because I think you have Dead Nuclear Winter, which can take him out, and I forgot if alternate ammo types did anything, but I just think they're a little easier to deal with, especially on solo. So, but I think it's a little ridiculously easy compared to Ascension, so that's why I put it behind it. And then Shangri-La on BO3, I think I like it, but I don't think it's as good as the original. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's not like miles better. It's not miles worse than the original. I think it's like almost on par, but I wish they had PhD on this map. Now, Moon on BO3, like I put BO1 Moon in C tier. BO3 is actually an A tier for me. So I'm gonna put it right here. All right, and then Origins BO3. Honestly, I'm not that crazy for it. I I think the reason why I don't like BO3 Origins is because of how much more dangerous the mud is, and the Panzer is way overpowered on the BO3. He has a ton of health. I feel like the only way to deal with him is to get like one of the stats besides fire upgraded before he arrives. It's like, I swear, like even a shotgun with double tap is he still takes a few hits with the BO3 Panzer. Also, I just don't think it's that unique compared to the other maps because they didn't add any like special weapons into the box. Like they didn't add any like original Origins weapons outside the MG08. So yeah, I think that's why it's a B tier for me. Graphically Chronicles looks great. I just don't really like this one that much. Okay, you know what? I know I'm being harsh with this one, but I think I'm gonna put it there. Okay, and then Voyage of Despair is next, and we're starting with BO4, and I'll get into like the mechanics with this map. I don't like the BO4 system really because it's just they try to change so much stuff, and none of it really fit together. I don't know, just the perks, the points, the specialists, the equipment. I don't know what it was. BO4 just felt so like just so clustered. Like especially at launch, it was so weird trying to get used to all the mechanics and stuff. Voyage is I think it's F tier. I don't really enjoy it. Um and it's sometimes fun to come back to like every now and then, but I just don't really enjoy it. The Wonder Weapon is pretty weak, and the layout is really confusing, and some of the locations on the map are really pointless too. Like I don't know anybody that actually goes into like the underground portions of the ship because like other than perks because there's literally no reason to go down there. Yeah. I mean, the boss zombies on this map are pretty overwhelming too. Like the Stoker, he comes every round and he can spawn multiple times around, and he can two hit you. So, yeah, I think this map is just really unbalanced and really it's just not fun. But next we have 9, and it's definitely one of the better BO4 maps. I think it's probably the best, or I would say like objectively, probably the best map on BO4. I think the BO4 mechanics work so much better on this map than it did on Voyage. I would say I think it's A tier. Right there. And then next we have Blood of the Dead, and not again. I'm not a fan of this map either. Like Mob of the Dead is one of my favorites, and I was really pumped for this map, and this was disappointing. I won't lie. It's kind of fun for high rounds, so I'll give it a C. I'll put it slightly above Transit, but yeah, I just don't like. I don't like the layout. There's a lot of pointless areas they added, and they took out a lot of the crucial ones on Mob. Um, yeah, the moving pack a punch is kind of annoying because the map's so big. I don't know. Blood of the Dead just not my favorite. Now, Classified, I think it's a pretty average map for BO4. Like it's a good like kind of like the Giants. It's kind of like a chill out map on the game, and I like it decently. So I'll put it I'll put it in B tier. Maybe like maybe above Town. I think it's a good spot. And then next we have Dead of the Night. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like this map. It's like I think it goes right here. There's just too many parts and too many boss zombies. And the layout is kind of bad too. Actually no, the layout's fine. It's just the map design I don't like. Like every area in the house just kind of looks the same to me. It's just cluttered with stuff. It's so hard to find parts on this map because there's just so many like things around the map. And another thing I hate about the Night is I feel like I have to look up a tutorial every time to pack a punch because on one of the tuning forks you have to look for an artifact around the map, and I'm so unfamiliar with this map, so like I have to look up a guide every time, like almost every time to go pack a punch on this. Like there's very few like artifacts I actually know the location of. And as far as the boss zombies go, like the werewolves are fine. Like I feel like I can deal with them a bit easier than the vampires because the vampires are just irritating. Like like they spawn pretty frequently. I know they had increased spawns before. I know they kind of tuned the spawns a little bit, but I hate it when they hit you because your screen goes red, and like when your screen goes red, you always look at your health bar to see if you're actually like gonna die or not. Like it's a beautiful map, don't get me wrong, but I want to be able to look at the map or the zombies instead of my health bar or my YouTube browser. Like I don't know, like this map. Like I wanted to like this map, but I can't. Ancient Evil, I will say it is an improvement over these maps, and I would say it's like on par with like maybe Classified as just being kind of average. I would put it like I think I would put it like right here. It's a fun map to go revisit. The wonder weapons are kind of cool, but I don't know if they're the most practical. They don't have a lot of ammo. And I think they were getting a little too carried away with the Greek mythology and stuff. Like I wish the zombies were a bit more focused on in this map. Um, but if you're at least interested in like the mythology stuff, I mean, it's a decent map. It has some cool stuff in it. I like the shield in this map. It's probably one of the better shields we've had. Um, yeah, it's decent. I don't have a lot to say about the BO4 maps. I just didn't really play them that much. And it's kind of the same thing with Alpha Mega. I don't really like it either. It's just kind of boring. Like it's not innovative. It's literally just pulled from Blackout. And then Tagdertone is like I would say is like maybe right there. I don't really enjoy remakes that much. Like some things are like sometimes it can be a bit better than Call of the Dead, but I think most of the time it's just kind of hollow. Like the Victus crew is in this map, and the wonder weapons are not original and not very good either. So yeah, I mean the one thing I do like about it is the atmosphere. I think they really nailed the atmosphere of this map, especially compared to Call of the Dead, which had kind of a bland atmosphere. But the atmosphere is really the only thing driving this map from being F tier. I don't know. I never thought it was that good. Now, D Machine, first map on Cold War. I won't lie, I kind of like it. Like I think it's grown on me a lot. As much as I play it, like I do play this map quite a bit. It's a very simple layout. It's a very like chill map to play on. Like the map's objective was really to get people like playing zombies for survival and stuff, and this map did it perfectly. I don't think it's definitely not an S tier, but I think it's like an A. I think it's maybe like right here. And then Firebase C. For some reason, it doesn't have Mauer, Forsaken, or Outbreak, or Duran Fong, but I'll rank him in a bit. I'll just kind of point to where I'm going to rank him. Actually, I might type it into the tiers. So I'll go ahead and rank Firebase C. Firebase C, I don't like as much as D Machine. It's still pretty good, but I think it's like right here. It's like I like how different it is from D Machine. Like I like that there's like objectives and stuff, but I think they're a little too hindering towards high rounds. Because getting around 100 on this map is a bit of a challenge because you have an order round to fight every like 10 or 15 rounds, so it can be kind of frustrating, won't lie. So I'm gonna put it right there. And then Mauer, like honestly, this might be controversial. I think Mauer is going into S. Where I would put it in S, I would probably put it behind both Ascensions. Like I think it's very underrated. Like I know Cold War gets a lot of crap for having no personality, but I think Mauer is probably the most personality Cold War has had. Like even though you have operators and stuff, like the rest of the map, like is very good for atmosphere, for gameplay. The Wonder Weapon is one of the coolest we've ever seen. Like it definitely reminds me a lot of like World at War and BO1, those kind of maps. I think that's why I like it. And then Forsaken, for me, Forsaken is probably B tier. I would probably put it like above, like right above. Lost my train of thought. Firebase Z. I think it's like right above it. It's slightly better for high rounds, but again, kind of like 5. I don't really like the layout of it because it's just not really made for zombies. This kind of took 2 campaign levels, just kind of smushed them. And then Outbreak, I would probably put Outbreak into this tier as well. I think because of Duran Fong, I actually appreciate Outbreak a little bit more because of how much other content it had. Like there's tons of like little side objectives you could do. You could do like 2 main quests. You know, you had tons of perks and enemies to fight. Like Outbreak was, I think it was kind of underrated in a way. I don't love it, but I think it's for the idea. It was actually pretty good. And then Duran Fong is it's straight F tier. You know what? No. I forgot what color I even had this. There we go. Yeah, Duran Fong. As of now, it is the worst map. I don't know what they were thinking when they made Duran Fong. Like I know they were under like strict time constraints, but like this map isn't even like the bare minimum. Like the bare minimum was like at least like make another like keynote or tone or something. This map couldn't even do that. The gameplay is so linear and so boring. I can't even like my first playthrough. I exfilled at around 50, like no 13. Yeah, I exfilled around 13 because I was bored. Like if a map makes you bored the first playthrough, it failed. It failed. And I'm sure lots of people felt this way too. And I know there's going to be an update like next week or something with more content, but I think all they're adding is like maybe like one or two more objectives and like a couple of covenants, and that's it. Like they might add server pause too, but I don't know. And the rest of these are maps that, well, I played some of these. Like I played these first 6. I mean, I'll go ahead and rank these 6. Outbreak is, I think it's B tier. Infection, other than Duran Fong, this is probably my least favorite. And then Carrier is, I think it's slightly better than Outbreak, and then Descent is like there. I don't know. Descent, I never really liked the forced boss fight in Descent. I just don't have much to say about the Exo Zombies maps. They were okay for their time, but they just don't really have much replay value. And same thing with World War II. Final Reich, I played it a few times, but I don't know. World War II Zombies just didn't really strike me in any way. I never really liked it. I don't know. That's kind of how we rank those. But yeah, this is my correct tier list for casuals. Yeah, I think this is pretty fair. I try to be like as unbiased as possible. But yeah, just let me know if you agree, disagree. I know this video has been kind of long, and I've kind of been losing energy a little bit. I am kind of tired, so just let me know what you think about this. Leave a comment. Tell me what else I should do a tier list on, or what else I should upload. I'm open to ideas. I have a few finals to do within the next week or so, but after that, I'll try to make some more videos. So just comment below. Tell me what I should upload or what I should rank, or may even do like a webcam video at some point. So yeah, just let me know. I will see y'all later. I'll see you in the next video. All right, goodbye.